Hello guys and welcome to another Carsexposed video. Today we have another Eeprom work to do, another CD400 radio. This time I believe it's from a Vauxhall Astra. So one of my viewers sent me this radio a couple of days ago, so I took the board out already. He had a problem with the other one, bought a second-hand one, and obviously it was locked, and he hasn't had the radio for about 2 years now. So this board is slightly different than the one that I had before, the other video that I have. By the way, if you want to know how to get to this part, just go in the other video. I'll leave a link in the description where I take it apart and I show how to take it apart. But let's concentrate on this bit now, which is desoldering the chip, and then solder the chip back, and also using Xprog to change the bit for the VIN number. So these radios, they haven't got a passcode, they are married to the car by the VIN number, so that's why we have to do this. And generally, I've done another couple of this CD400. Generally have 4 screws here, 1, 2, 3, 4, that holds this board to the case. But this time I have a 5th one right in that corner, which is this shield, and it is slightly bigger than the other ones that I've seen. Normally you have another shield here, which I believe is for a GAB radio, so I believe this radio doesn't have GAB, but it's literally the same thing. So here's our Eeprom in question, you might be able to see there, 4S128. So it's 24C128 Eeprom. We're going to unsolder it, use Xprog to change the V number, and then solder it back. And I'm going to try to use my other camera today, try to get a close-up shot of this Eeprom. I don't know how it's going to work, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have a nice view of this this soldering, because the last time I had my hand in front of the chip. So, all right, so first of all, just going to apply some flux there. This should be enough. I'm going to use the air gun to apply some heat. There we go. Alright, so that's the first part of the job. Gonna wait for the chip to cool down. And I'm gonna remove the remain of solder. Always like to use new solder. I pushed it away that way because there's another few components this side, so I just pushed that out the way. So we'll knock it off any small components. Alright, a little bit more solder there. Just clean up this old solder. I don't like to mix up, I like to use my own solder. Let's turn up the heat a little bit. Right, so now there's a bit of a mess there. Some alcohol and some cotton bud. Important to clean the area quite very well. Now what I have to do is align this Eeprom, and I already got flux to my board here. It's my adapter. I'm gonna sit the Eeprom with pin number 1, which is there's a little dot on a chip facing this left side one here. And if you hear someone snoring, it's my dog. Let's go ahead and solder this to the board. Oops. Moved out a little bit. Let's try again. I can see that just dropped. Nice connection. Wait until things cool down. Like that. A solid connection there. Lovely. Alright, so we have our adapter with the chip there now. Connect to Xprog. Let's open it. Alright, so as you can see, we just read and verify, and the VIN number is on this line 150 right here. So 0, it doesn't have the actual chassis number. The VIN number has a W in the beginning, so you don't use the W and you just change everything else. So just gonna look at the VIN number now because I've got a picture, and I'm gonna do the change. Alright, so that's done. So read it again. That's it. Right, so we checked it and rechecked it. The new V number. So now we're going to desolder the chip and then solder to the radio board again. Let's go for it. There we go. So that's done. Get the radio now. Obviously the orientation here is important. Forgot to say in the beginning, just make sure you mark the orientation, take some pictures. Right, let's solder this chip now. Let me just add some flux. Reposition it. I think that's good there. There we go, that looks good. Yeah, that looks perfect. Now we're gonna give it a good clean. And like I mentioned, guys, I checked it, rechecked the VIN number. Just make sure it's the correct one. And this board is quite clean here. Looking good. In this case, this orientation, pin 1, the one that has the dots, is right in this right bottom corner. I don't know if you can see there, but yeah, you can probably see it. This right bottom corner here, you can see a little dot. That's pin 1. Try to give you a close up here, guys. So I don't know if you can see very well there. Right, so hopefully you can see very well there. There's no bridges, and I cleaned all the flux, and now he's ready to go. Job done. Like I mentioned, I've done another video where I go through like how to take it all off and put it back together again, but we're just gonna show this at the end. So you have 2 screws at the bottom here, at the bottom of the radio, 3 at the back, counting this antenna one, and then 5 this side where you don't have the heat sink. This one's you don't need to remove it. And then this side that you have the heat sink, you have 3 normal ones, and then you have 4 black around the heat sink, and then you have 4 which they are longer for the little fan and heat sink connector. Here you have a little paste at the back of it, so those 4 screws here, they are slightly longer than the others, and that's it really. All back together. Just gonna send to the viewer, and hopefully it's gonna work.